The Russians continue to circulate rumors that the Ukrainian Flamingo missile doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military is carrying out effective strikes with it. This was stated by Dmytro Zhmailo, co-founder and executive director of the Ukrainian Center for Security and Cooperation, during a telethon broadcast. He commented on the effectiveness of the Flamingo missiles, noting that they are launched not individually but in groups. First, decoys and drones fly, and then missiles are added. This overloads the enemy's air defense system, resulting in a low percentage of missile downings. The Russians can shoot down these missiles, but they are doing everything possible to minimize this probability, thanks to electronic warfare and the drone cloud, he noted. Zhmailo explained that Flamingo missiles are launched from ground platforms, so launch sites are constantly changing. He also said that Ukraine is trying to conceal and diversify its missile production as much as possible. Specifically, solid fuel for the Flamingo missiles will be produced in Denmark. He noted that the Russians are trying to create the illusion that Flamingo missiles don't exist. He added that many have jumped on this hype, despite the existence of video footage confirming the use of these missiles in strikes. As reported, Anatoly Krapchinsky, a retired Ukrainian Air Force officer and deputy director of a company that manufactures electronic warfare systems, noted that several Western countries are involved in the production of the Flamingo missile, which may already be evidence of its quality. When they say a cheap Flamingo won't fly, excuse me, but our drones are made with bolts from epicenter. Our drones and some of their weapons contain a ton of household and construction materials. And it's no surprise that a cheap drone is actively used on the front lines. We 3D print the drop systems, Krapchinsky said. He added that Ukraine needs weapons capable of carrying a large payload, since drones do not have the ability to destroy Russian production facilities. It's effective against weapons depots, oil production facilities, or oil storage facilities. But it's not effective against a Shahed factory. It's ineffective against a KH-101 cruise missile factory. We'd need a payload of over 500 kilograms there, which would completely destroy the facility. This type of weapon offers these solutions, Krapchinsky added. The expert explained that a single Flamingo missile is not capable of destroying multi-industrial facilities. However, when combined with other weapons, it could cause serious damage to Russian facilities. The destruction of radar systems and 2 helicopters in Crimea has allowed us to safely use naval drones to reach Tuapse and carry out a combat mission there. In any case, this is a weapon with its own characteristics, and additional elements will be added to meet all the characteristics needed to penetrate air defenses. Decoy drones, drones that will mislead air defenses, Krapchinsky explained.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese told his country's parliament on Tuesday that Australia must do everything in its power to ensure and that there are both an Israeli state and Palestinian state in a future without Hamas. According to Associated Press, Albanese on Tuesday condemned Hamas for its attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. Their attack on a music festival that promoted friends, love and infinite freedom, an event attended by so many young people, underlined a core truth: Hamas stands in opposition to all humanity and all that we value as human beings, Albanese said. Albanese made his remarks in Parliament as Israelis prepared to mourn the dead as the nation marks 2 years since Hamas' October 7 attack plunged the region into a devastating war. He reiterated his country's stance for a two-state solution, and that Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. That is the only path to enduring peace and security in the Middle East, a future without Hamas, and a future that encompasses two states, the State of Israel and the State of Palestine, living side by side within internationally recognized borders, and recognizing each other's right to live in peace and security. That is the possibility of the future that is before us. It is our duty to do everything in our power to seize it, Albanese said. In Sydney, the co-chief executive officer of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry Alex Rivchin told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that the Jewish community will be marking the anniversary in quiet and solemn ways. We feel this anguish and pain at the continuing war and the hostage crisis, and remembering what happened 2 years ago. But also we live in hope, and we're hopeful for better days ahead, both domestically, and hopefully Hamas will accept this peace plan and end this war and allow the hostages to come home, he said.
The time for members' statements has concluded. Members can give a call to the Honourable the Prime Minister.
The 7th of October 2023 was a day of pain and terror for Jewish people around the world. When our Parliament first gathered in the aftermath, the shock at what Hamas terrorists had perpetrated was still raw and growing with each new and devastating detail. Their attack on a music festival that promoted friends, love and infinite freedom, an event attended by so many young people, underlined a core truth. Hamas stands in opposition to all humanity and all that we value as human beings. 2 years on, we remember those who were lost on that day, the largest loss of Jewish life on a single day since the Holocaust. Over 1,200 lives taken without mercy. Hamas sought to kill and to terrify. They planned a nightmare of scarcely comprehensible cruelty and made it a reality. The Australian government stands with Jewish people around the world who feel the cold shadow of history's darkest chapter in any act of anti-Semitism. We will always stand against anti-Semitism, as should everyone. We must break this cycle of violence and build something better. Australia has consistently been part of the international pressure for a ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the hostages, for aid to flow and a two-state solution. Australia welcomes President Trump's plan to bring peace to Gaza after almost 2 years of conflict and a devastating loss of civilian life. A plan that calls on Hamas to lay down its arms and to immediately release all remaining hostages. In our original motion here in 2023, carried with the support bipartisanly of both parties of government or potential government, we explicitly recognise that Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people nor their legitimate needs and aspirations. We have never wavered from that stance. That is the only path to enduring peace and security in the Middle East, a future without Hamas, and a future that encompasses two states, a state of Israel and a state of Palestine, living side by side within internationally recognised borders, and recognising each other's right to live in peace and security. That is the possibility of the future that is before us. It is our duty to do everything in our power to seize it.